Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, September 16th, and I have done a lot of videos about approvals for one-step adjustment of statuses for spouses of U.S. citizens. And I got this comment. Can you please make a video talking about green card applications for spouses living abroad? I live in the U.S. and my husband is in Turkey. How is the timeline? So I'm going to assume a couple things here. I'm going to assume one, that you are a U.S. citizen petitioning for your spouse abroad. Let's talk what happens first. First, the I-130 needs to be approved, and I would say typically it's around 15 months. But actually, if you go to USCIS processing times, it can go into the 50-some month mark. I would say on average, generally, we're seeing about 15 months for that I-130 to be approved, okay, for the spouse of a U.S. citizen when the spouse is living abroad. Now, what happens next? The I-130 upon approval gets transferred over to the NVC. The NVC is the National Visa Center. It literally reviews all the visas for everyone around the world. It is not particular to your country at this point. That is when you're going to submit the actual visa application. Once they get the approval of the I-130 for USCIS, they say, okay, here are your credentials for the NVC. It can take about a month or two to get that welcome letter from the NVC. It will give you credentials for an account, and then you can log in and actually do your visa application. At that time, you will also be submitting those financial documents like the affidavit of support, showing that you are the financial sponsor. You can financially support your spouse. Then the NVC reviews it and says, yeah, you know what? This looks more or less complete. It looks like you are documentarily qualified. I would say that notice to get documentarily qualified is a few months, and then it gets transferred over to your home consulate. So at this point, we're talking easily 4 or 5 months after getting the I-130 approval, then for it to be documentarily qualified, and then it will be sent over to your home consulate once they are ready to schedule you for an interview. And this is what is going to take the longest period of time, because different consulates around the world have different waiting times. If you are waiting for an interview in Juarez after getting documentarily qualified, you might be waiting a year to a year and a half, sometimes even close to 2 years. On the other hand, if you're the spouse of a U.S. citizen and you're waiting for your interview in London, it might be a matter of weeks. So this is why that home country part is really important, and it can, very much determine how long the overall process takes. Let's say it does get sent to your consulate, you get an interview within 4 or 5 months, then in theory, they approve you on the spot. You have to take your medical exams. You have to do, the background stuff. In some cases, there might be 2 appointments, a pre-interview appointment to submit documents. But then let's say you get approved, right? Then you have this approval that is valid for X period of time, at which point then you can enter the United States within that allotted period of time. So that is the process for spouses living abroad. And as you can see, it really depends where abroad they are in terms of how long it's going to take from start to finish being arriving in the U.S. as a green card holder.